Bad, horrible.
Sickening, isn't it? He needs killing himself, the lad who's done it.
But wouldn't you say you're sitting by double standards if you go out and shoot people as well, lads?
No, we don't do it like that. No, I was with little kids playing.
Go up and do it face to face.
So if you wanted to get a gun, how would you go about getting one?
Phone someone, innit?
Get dropped off. Or mum pick it up.
And how long would that take?
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. Just that.
What would happen if one of you actually met a girl and she was from Croxteth? Would you be able to go out with her if you fancied her?
Probably.
Could like, but it'd be dodgy. You know what I mean? You couldn't trust her, could you?
Could you be slipping into their neighbourhood to see her? Does it happen?
That's happened.
Yeah, that's happened a few times. Been loads of setups before. We've always been on the phone to birds and shit like, yeah, we could see it. But they've known all the cocky lads or another firm. You get there and it's a big setup and all.
That'd be still dad. Well, I'll just go into the setup and go to bed.
Right.
That was what it was when that happened, the setup.
To shoot that lad, yeah? And the bullet ricocheted and... Right.
Off there, man.
Talk to me about the police. How do the police behave in the area where you live?
Come back.
Treat us like fucking bastards, basically. They just can't stand us. And they really hate us.
All right, just say you had the Home Secretary sitting in front of you and not me. What would you like to say to her in terms of change? The Home Secretary, the one that's in charge of the police force.
Tell us, please. Fucking spit at
Yeah,
her.
fucking spit at her.
You'd spit at her?
Yeah.
But would you say anything to her?
Call us, come back.
Couldn't be much more to say, you know, because they would not even listen to a word you'd have to say, would they?
What about...
Stop picking on the kids and make the streets better, you know what I mean? Does not make the streets better, you know what I mean? Come out and give them kids nothing but else, it makes them worse, doesn't it? When they make the police more, do more shit to them, do more shit to anyone else. Just sends them mad, or busy, he's jumping out on them constantly.
Well, last night we met some of the lads from Norris Green, aka the Nogsy crew. They certainly weren't unintelligent or without potential. That said, they still couldn't explain their murderous hatred of their counterparts in Croxteth. I wonder if the lads there will be any more enlightening. I wanted to hear what the lads from Croxteth had to say, but first I had a very different visit to make. I've come here to meet a special police unit that was designed specifically to tackle gang and gun crime. They target individuals who pose a direct threat to the public. They're called the Matrix. Between May 2007 and May 2008, there were reported 48 shootings on Merseyside. 6 were fatal. Detective Chief Superintendent Steve Morris, head of the Matrix, explained the problems his men face dealing with guns on the street.
Of these 14 weapons, 7 of them are real weapons, the other 7 are imitation weapons, and I would challenge anybody in a split second to decide which is real and which is an imitation, which is intended as a child's toy and which is intended to take a life. And sometimes police officers have to make that decision within literally a split second.
This one, for instance, is a replica of a Heckler & Koch weapon. And, you know, it weighs about the same as the real thing. You know, to all intents and purposes, it is the real thing. What do you think about the people that manufacture these things and put them out and sell them?
I don't see the point. I do not see why anybody needs to produce an imitation or a toy weapon that looks like that is so realistic, because it does nothing but cause problems.
And the same about, you know, other things here. I mean, for instance, this could look like a cowboy gun, but this actually is going to kill someone, isn't it?
That is a real gun, yeah.
That is a real gun. Also, there's one weapon here on this table that is responsible for 40% of all the gun crime in this town, isn't there?
That's right, and that weapon is the shotgun. This is a sawn-off shotgun. The controls around shotguns aren't as strong as controls around other weapons.
You've had some success removing guns from the streets, as we can see here, both real and imitation. What message would you have to people out there who are considering picking up a gun and using it in Liverpool?
My message to people who think about using guns on Merseyside would be, you're not just a priority for Merseyside Police, you are the priority for Merseyside Police.
The The trade that came from Liverpool's docks has always been central to the city's life. Sugar and slaves, migrants from around the world, the music that influenced the Mersey beat, and latterly, guns and drugs have all come through here. As far back as the late 19th century, the tough streets around the docks were home to legendary gangs like the Cornermen. And during the Second World War, they provided rich pickings for powerful syndicates. In this world where secrecy was prized, a prison language emerged, backslang.
Jab ale is a Lego de feigach and sheagite. Fab bunny, but stab a about.
Liverpool's criminal gangs were well placed to take advantage of the hard drugs which started arriving through the port in the 1980s, with a terrible impact on areas like Liverpool 11. And the uprising in Toxteth in 1981 had an unforeseen outcome when a softly approach to policing played into the hands of the drugs barons. The arrival of 90s club culture gave organised crime another boost, with huge profits to be made for controlling club doors and the drugs that went through them. During these years, major players made vast fortunes, and although many of them are now serving time, Merseyside was left with a legacy of drugs and violence. I've come here to meet an ex-gangster who made his name in the 80s and 90s. His reputation for violence was so bad that he was known simply as the Devil. In the world of crime, taxation is the violent extraction of money and/or drugs from a drug dealer. A martial arts champion and club doorman who grew up in Toxteth, Stephen French became a master taxman. Today, he's a successful businessman and anti-gun campaigner. He began by telling me about how drugs became an issue in the city in the 1980s.
An armed robbery would take place. Maybe £20,000 was stolen between 3 individuals. Those 3 individuals would make a kitty, yeah, of the £20,000, yeah, and they'd go to Holland, and for £20,000 in those times, allegedly, so I've been told, you could buy 2 kilos of cocaine. You buy those 2 kilos of cocaine and you get them into this country, yeah, they become worth £100,000.
You tell me about, or give me some examples of what a taxman would do to a drug dealer to get the money.
A case of a friend of mine, yeah, he actually did 15 years for this, no, he got 11 years for this offence. Yeah, and he burned the guy with an iron, right? Get the guy to give up his stash.
This taxi thing, how big did it become?
Money was made, Russ, money was lost. It was a frivolous time, yeah, and money was made and money was lost, and that's all I'm prepared to say about that.
Were you happy with yourself at the time?
It's very easy to fake loving somebody. It's not so easy. People can't fake fear, yeah? Now, I can remember, to my detriment and to my shame, just wanting to be feared, wanting to have that reputation, wanting people to say, there goes Frenchy, he's a bad man. Yeah.
Were people actually dealers getting firearms because they were worried about people like you taxing them? Was their way of defending themselves against someone with your physical presence?
Excellent analysis. Yeah, this is where I have to take some culpability in terms of the explosions of firearms in my own Merseyside, yeah? I don't take full responsibility, but the 10-stone weedy heroin dealer that's got 40 grand under his bed and thinks the devil's coming to get him, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Because it becomes an instant equalizer.
But having been involved in the emergence of guns in the city, French quickly became a victim of them when first his best friend was killed and then his son was shot. Last year, he cooperated on a book about his life to expound his anti-gun message.
You have young men at home now, 10 years of age, that will be hitting the streets 5 years' time, 10 years' time. They have uncles that are doing life, brothers that have been murdered, fathers that are murderers. The